Hey friends, welcome to the 27th episode of the Sunday Knitting Society podcast. My name is Chelsea and I'm a knitter in Oklahoma City. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. I hope you guys have had a good 3 weeks since last episode. I've had a lot of knitting. I had a work trip last weekend. I spent 24 hours in Chicago. It was actually really obnoxious because the work trip was fine, but they put us in a hotel directly across from Navy Pier, which I've never been to, and I had no time to go. Which, I mean, that wasn't the point of the meeting, so it's not the end of the world, but I actually debated when, because it didn't close till like 10 p.m. and we got done with the first part on Friday night at like 7. I was like, oh, I could go. And then I was just like, actually, no, I'm exhausted. Like, I just really want to go sit in my hotel room and knit. So that's what I did. And then Saturday, the days of the week, I really could not remember my days of the week. Yeah, Saturday was just meetings all day. So not much knitting time, because it was in person, very interactive. So not really any time for knitting. But I have been doing a lot of knitting. Now, unfortunately for you guys, the thing I've spent the most time working on is secret. So I cannot show it to you, but I have the yarn I use for it and I will show you that. But I've kind of made up for it with a few little projects. Made up for it. I've finished that project, the secret project, and so now I've got other stuff that's really fun. So I also, if you can't tell, I'm still a little bit flushed. I ran this morning. Today was my half marathon day. I've just kind of gotten in this habit where, like, I get everything done the evening before. Like, I do all my grocery shopping the day before. I make sure my headphones are charged. I make sure I've got my running snacks. And then I just make sure I get to bed on time. And I just wake up on Saturday and I just try to, like, not think about it as I'm getting ready. It's just like, I just can't give myself a excuse. And so I just find myself parked out at my running spot and I'm just like, all right, let's go. So yeah, it was actually a fantastic run. The weather was beautiful. It was like 60s and 70s, which I could have taken just a little cooler, but man, compared to running in 100-degree plus weather, I will take it. But yeah, I think I started to not enjoy it at around mile 10. And I also, one of my best friends, or my best friend, she's a runner, and I had complained about getting blisters on my feet during one of my previous runs. And so she recommended these anti-blister socks. I think the brand is Baliga. They're expensive. They are $20 per pair. And I went ahead and bought one pair just to see if I liked them, and they are very nice. And on top of that, I also like slather my foot in Vaseline. And they worked for me last time, but the pair I got were just like this very, very loud pair of socks. And I kind of wanted something that was just white. And so I don't even have them with me because they're dirty now. I bought a pair of Bombas. And the top part's white. The bottom part is not quite as colorful. I wore those on my run today and I hate them. I hate them. I think for wearing just as normal socks, they'd be perfectly fine. But by mile 8, I was starting to get blisters on my arches. And I think I might have a little bit of a blister. But they were just rubbing in the wrong spots, or like gripping in the wrong spots. So I will not be buying more of them. I also bought a pair, I don't have them. I bought a pair of compression socks for a trip I have coming up because they were cute. I thought, why not? They barely fit around my calves. Like, I'm used to compression socks being tight. I have big calves. I inherited that from my dad. Running has not helped. So I'm used to compression socks being really tight on my calves. These, like, the stitching was too tight at the top, so like the sock material would still stretch, but the stitching is rigid at some point. And so I'm afraid I'm actually gonna get like an impression just from the stitching on the top of the sock. So I think I'm gonna return those. I normally wear, what's the brand? I wear a brand called Comrade, and they have a wide calf version. And so their regular socks fit me. I've learned that you put them on before you board, because when you're in a tiny airplane seat trying to get compression socks on, it isn't fun. So I put them on at the waiting area and then board with the compression socks on. But so their regular ones fit me. They're a bit of an ordeal to get on. So I have their wide calf version, but they don't provide they're too loose, honestly. So I was kind of hoping to get something in between, but oh well, I'll keep searching. But compression socks on long flights are like non-negotiable for me. I get swelling in my ankles, and like you can like push on my ankle and it leaves a thumbprint. So socks are good. Anyway, so yeah, did 13 miles today. My feet hurt, my hips hurt, my lower back hurts, my neck hurts, because I found that when I run, I look up. Like, I'm literally like, I don't know why I do that actually, because I can see the horizon, it's fine. But like, I just find myself, I don't know if I'm like resting my head when I run. So I have to like remind myself, like, chin down. So I actually get some muscle tension in the back of my neck. So anyway, yeah, so only long runs on the weekends from now. Well, I'm doing like every other weekend. I'm doing a long run, and then more like a 5-mile run in between. And that's working pretty well for me. So anyway, that's that. So let's get to some knitting. So what I'm wearing, this is my very first Tolsta tee by Rebecca Clow. This was knit in cotton it's from Michael's. Oh shoot, what's it called? Cream cotton. So this, I think this whole sweater cost me 20 bucks in yarn, which is pretty cool. And I actually really like this. It is a thicker cotton. So I really haven't been able to wear it until, this is actually the first time I've worn it, to be honest. Last week we finally hit fall temps. So it's like 70s. It's gonna go up a little bit this next week, which is sad, but I've worn knitwear to work twice in the past week, which is wonderful. But I haven't gotten to wear this one yet. But it's really nice. Like I said, it's heavier, so it's definitely, for me, it's not a summer garment, but I foresee myself wearing this a lot this fall. I want to say the color on this one was called bruschetta, which this does not look like bruschetta to me. This looks like terracotta to me, or like clay, but we're going with bruschetta, I guess. Then, okay, so I have another FO, or I have an FO. I have 3 FOs. Did I already mention that? I feel like I already mentioned that. I have one that I actually finished a few weeks ago, and I forgot to show it last time. And I realized after the fact, and I was like, I am not going back. So, this is my Sophie shawl. So, oh, it's hard to show this thing, it's so long. I'm gonna put it on. It's gonna make me sweat. It's gonna be unpleasant, but it's okay. So this is a pattern by PetiteKnit. Oh gosh, how do you people with long hair or who live in cold climates handle the long hair and scarf combo? So yeah, so this, I knit the large size. I knit this in a yarn that has been discontinued. Sad. So this is from Purl Soho. This is the worsted twist yarn. I don't remember what colorway it is. I think it's Stillwater Blue. No, this one was like more of a black. It might have been Stillwater Blue. I think it actually was. They still make that color in other yarns, so that's one of their colors. This thing doesn't, it's like fighting me. So you can, I am not an expert at wearing stuff like this because I live somewhere where it's generally warm. But yeah, I love this. It's so squishy, it's so soft. I think I used like 3.5 balls for this. I think I just broke into the 4th ball. But it is so squishy and delightful. It will get a lot of wear this winter, probably, maybe. It depends on how bad our winter is. But this is such a fun pattern. It's just a very like predictable pattern. It's very, the word that's coming to mind is monotonous, but that's not what I mean. It's like meditative. To me, it's just very, I like the symmetry of it. I like that you're increasing to a point and then decreasing to a point. I like the I-cord edging on it. It just makes it a really nice finish. I like the garter. It's just, it's an all-around good project. And I think I mentioned, excuse me, like 2 episodes ago, what my method is for like keeping track of where you are in the process, like how to keep track of when you're supposed to increase or decrease. So if you need some tips on that, I think it was like 2 episodes ago. So there's that. Okay, my other FOs are adorable. I posted the first one on my Instagram with terrible lighting because I finished it at like 10 p.m. and I had to show somebody. Oh, it's so cute. Look at that itty bitty baby hat. So I have 4 friends having babies this winter. They're literally October, November, December, January. So we have 3 boys and 1 girl. So a few years ago, my group of friends we had like a rush of babies again, and there were 5 babies, I think. And so they all got bear hats for me, but I was using a different pattern. I was using, oh shoot, I don't remember which pattern. It's in my Ravelry. It's a bear bonnet or something like that. It was, shoot. I think actually Inga from Knitting Traditions just brought up this pattern. She's planning to knit some of them. It's a great pattern. The other one, I really like it. The thing I didn't like about that pattern is that you basically knit the whole bonnet plain, and then you go back and you knit 1/2 of the ear flat, knit a duplicate of that, turn it inside out, sew it together, turn it right side out, and then you have to sew it on the ear or on the hat. I'm not good at that. And so what happened was, like, I would get one ear on, it would look great, and then I'd sew the other ear on and it'd be like wonky. So I'd have to rip it out, reposition it, then I'd get them both done and realize they were like here. I was like, I want them here. And so it was just very fussy for me. So I saw this pattern. It is the Rail Bear Bonnet by Knitting for Olive. This is probably not going to show up well because it's a really faint picture. But yeah, it's the Rail Bear Bonnet. And I saw that the ears are built into the hat. So there, you do have to do some seaming. So you seam up the back. Okay, let me show you. And then you seam the ears together. And you do have to, for the ties, that's the other thing. I think the one I did before, you do an I-cord ties. These are actually just garter strips. So you cast on a certain number of stitches, then you go and pick up along the hat, and then you cast on more. So this is a very quick knit. This first one I knit in 2 evenings, and I probably had 3 hours each evening. Yeah, I think so, maybe like 6 hours of knitting, and that was probably broken up, so it probably wasn't a solid 6 hours of knitting. This one, this is hat number 2. Oh, there's a hair on it. This one knit up in 1 day. Now granted, I had a little bit more time on my hands that day, so it could have still been a 2 evening knit. But it just goes so fast, and it's just, they're so cute. What else was I gonna say about them? Oh yeah, so I haven't weighed this one, but this one weighed 22 grams. It's fingering weight yarn, so that is like nothing. And this is the newborn size. So I've got 2 of the 4 done. I have, did I bring my yarn for it over here? Yeah. So I think the next one, and I'm using scrap yarn for this because why not? I think so far everything I've used, I think these were all sweet fiber scraps. I know the second 2 are. So this is the next one I'm going to make. It's this lovely like ochre brown. This is a sweet fiber. I just don't remember what it is. And then this one is sweet fiber, and this is rose gold, I think. Or tea rose. I think this is rose gold. So this is gonna be for the girl. That being said, I know the mom who's having the girl is a neutral girl. So I may actually text her and say, hey, do you want a pink hat or do you want a gray hat? Or like a brown hat, because she may actually prefer the gray. But yeah, so we're actually having like a combined, I keep wanting to say bridal shower, baby shower, not a bridal shower. It's not really a baby shower, it's because it's really more gifts for the moms. But we're doing that this week. So I think I'll probably sit and like work on these hats. For like, I could finish one today. And they're really, I mean, it's all garter. So you're like almost, I'm trying to think actually. Yeah, you have to purl for the ribbing. But that's the only point in the whole project where you purl. So, and I, like, even when I was sewing up the ears at the end, I was literally using my cast on edges. Like trimmed yarn from the cast on. So like, it's just so little yarn. Like, you probably couldn't quite get away with like a 20-gram mini skein. I think that might be a little too, that might not be enough. But I mean, it's so close. If you made it like I don't know, it's so close that maybe if you made the straps like a little shorter, or you omitted the straps or something, you could maybe get away with it with a 20-gram mini. But yeah, so more of those in the future. And those are the FOs I can show. I will show you the yarn I used for my secret FO. So secret FO, I can't really talk a whole lot about it, but it is a garment. It is not coming out till next year. I flew through this thing. I think I knit it in 12 days. Which was surprising even me. Like, I am not the person in a test knit who finishes first. Ever. And I think I was. I think I was the first person to finish it. At least the first person to send a photo of it in the group chat. So, so my main color for this project was Gilead, was the Boidereau, or Rosewood, which is a lovely worsted weight yarn. I had this in my stash, so that's the other thing. This test knit I did all in stash yarn, so pat on the back there. So yeah, I use this as my main color, which I love. And then my contrast color was Cory Confetti. Come on, focus. And this is the Gray Bow. So this is a lovely yarn from La Bien-Aimée. It uses all the net, like little blips in here are recycled yarn. So every one is a little different. I actually have one that I got at Woolen Folk last year that is the orange one. I only had one skein of that. Oh, there we go. And this is the really good orange, RGO. Okay, good, it'll fit. So this was the very first one, like the first lot that they ever made. and I bought 4 of them, which is not enough for a sweater. I don't know why I bought it, honestly. Like, I don't know if I was thinking, oh, I'll make a sweater out of it, and then got it and was like, that math doesn't work. Actually, no, I take it back. I got 5. I had 5. But that math still doesn't work for a DK yarn, because it says Corey, like, this is the Corey worsted base, but it's actually a DK. That being said, there are significant areas where it feels more like a worsted, like it's thick and thin a little bit. So yeah, so I bought this one, and then they sold out, understandably. And she had posted that they were going to do a second run of, this was the gray bow colorway. And so I was like, ooh, I'll buy 2 more of them. 7, definitely can make a sweater out of it. I wasn't thinking about the dye lot. So the gray bow 2 was much lighter. And it would have been very obvious in a sweater. Like, they were very different. So I never did anything with it. But then when this test knit came out, I was pretty close to only needing 2 skeins. So I thought I would use the lighter skeins. I ended up needing to break into one of the darker skeins, but you cannot tell at all. So I have like a tiny bit of finishing left on this project, and then it needs to be washed. And then I am done. And I cannot show it until next year, but you better believe I'm gonna be wearing it. I'm just gonna have to be very careful not to take any photos. I don't live around a lot of knitters, so I don't think anybody's gonna see it. But anyway, so that is my last FO. I think I have 2 whips, that's it. Because all of my time and energy have been on either bear hats or words, where are my words? Bear hats or the test knit. So let's talk about the Alpine Glow. So I have not made a ton of progress on this one. But I kind of need to get my skates on because my mom wants to wear it before Christmas. So I did split for sleeves. So you can kind of see there. I think I got like 1.5 inches past the separation. So, I mean, this is in the delightfully boring stage right now. So maybe today I'll work on this a little bit. I also love that this ends in pink. Like, oh, it's so pretty. So, so this is my mom's Christmas sweater. My dad's Christmas sweater is in timeout because I do not feel like working on it. Because I haven't even split the sleeves yet, and it hurts my hands to work on it, so I have to like pace myself. I need to do it. I just need to do it. Anyway, so we're taking family photos. I'm not exactly sure when. I think it's at the end of October. We're taking family photos, and my sister is organizing it, and she sent out, my sister's not a bossy person. She is very much a people pleaser. I am definitely more of the controlling, bossy person in our family, but my sister has had this huge, like, extended family group text, and she was like, okay, here are the dates we're going to do family photos, which dates work. And I think there was only one date that worked at the end of October. And she was like, then she sends this like collage of different outfits, and she's like, here's your palette, pick within this. I was like, all right, I guess I'm gonna wear one of those colors. But my mom and I were talking about this a couple days ago on the phone, and I was like, well, the last time we took family photos, I wore a sweater I knit. I actually wore, where is it? I don't know where it went. Oh, it's this one. So I wore, this is the classic. I'm gonna have to unfold it. The classic by Espace Tricot, or I think it was Melissa Clow. So I knit this. Ooh, let's see if I can remember it. I think I knit it in Yoth Yarn's little brother. as my solid yarn, my tonal, and then I knit it in Isayer mohair. So it is this beautiful marl, and I wore that for our last family photo, and so I really wanted to wear another hand knit for a family photo, and it's end of October, so it should be lovely sweater weather. Oh gosh, that's not going back. And my mom was like, oh, I want to wear a sweater too. And she's still working on her second Tolsta, so I was like, oh, you could wear, oh no, maybe she's, yeah, no, she's doing a striped Tolsta right now. But she finished her first Tolsta. I was like, oh, you could wear your sweater. And she's like, oh, could I? And I was like, yeah, totally. And she was like, will it be done by then? I was like, oh, we're not talking about your Tolsta. We're talking about your Christmas sweater. I was like, I mean, I don't have a problem with her wearing it early, but it has to be finished. So, yeah, I need to get on that. I mean, technically on the baby hats, I'm good. I've got October, November. So I just have to do December, January. So I've got some time on that. I should probably work on this today. Maybe that's what I'll do. There's so many projects calling my name, but so this, I've talked about this before. My main color was gifted to me very generously from Queen City Yarns. It's their Lotta base, which is merino and rambouillet, non-superwash, sport weight. This is the ballet slipper. It is lovely, absolutely lovely. It's squishy, but it's got structure. It's a delight to knit with, and it pairs really beautifully with Spin Cycle. So this is these are dyed in the wool Ghost Ranch from Spin Cycle. So, yeah, we need to work on that. So that might be my today project. I really want to work on the baby hats, but it's good to work on other things. All right, my travel knitting. Are y'all ready for this? Maybe get on your sunglasses, because oh my, excuse me, apparently I have a lot of burps in me. So this is yarn from the Wool Baron or Wool Barn. Got rid of my tag, dang it. That's annoying. So this color is called Electric Boots, and I love it. So I was like here, like close to here, when I landed in Chicago, and they had a driver come pick me up, which was, listen, that feels like excessively bougie when a driver picks you up and then you get driven around in a big black car. It's delightful. But I didn't realize the airport was an hour from the hotel. And so the driver and I were just chatting the whole time. He's a big Formula One fan, and I know nothing about it. But I was like, well, hour in the car, let's do some knitting. So I basically turned my whole heel. I did the whole heel in the car in that hour. And then finished it on the flight home. Actually, did I? Yeah, because I've already started sock 2. I think I started sock 2 in the airport. Maybe? No, I did it when I got home. That's right. And I barely started a second row. So I just got past the ribbing, and it actually worked out perfectly because where I ended, oh, come on. I ended at the toe right here, which is the stripe right before the orange at the cuff. So it actually worked out perfectly that they're gonna like line up exact. Yeah, this is just such, it's so soft. I should probably try it on, make sure it actually fits my foot. I don't know, it might be a little too stiff to show you guys my foot, but we'll try. Ah! Okay, it fits. That's good. I think I'd tried it on before. But yeah, it's really soft. I am a little concerned with how this is going to hold up. that being said, I'm not hard on my socks. I like knitting them, and I do like wearing them, but I don't wear them that super often. I know I need to get one of my little sock blockers. But yeah, one's down. A little bit to go. Yeah, so that'll be my church knitting from now on. It's you know, it's real quiet colors, really muted. Won't draw any attention. All right, that is all the knitting that I have in the last 3 weeks. But I have plans and I have purchases. So not all of the purchases have plans, in all honesty. One of them does not. Actually, I only have 2 purchases. So that's not bad. Oh, 3. I have 3 purchases. So let's talk about this one. So this one has a plan. One of my favorite self-striping sock dyers is Nomadic Yarns. I absolutely love, I'm trying to think if see if I have some, I don't remember. I know I've knit some of her socks before. I think I gave one of them away. But I just love her colors. I think they're awesome. I love that she sometimes will wind them into a gobstopper. I think that's really fun. But yeah, I just love her yarn. So I'd actually bought her Christmas colorway, or one of her Christmas colorways before. It's called Knitmas. And I'm not letting myself cast on just yet, but there's her logo. And I learned her name and I've already forgotten it. But she's amazing. So she posted a Halloween update last week. I think actually it was on Saturday, because in a break, we had like a scheduled break in our meeting, and I was like on my phone trying to buy this yarn. I was like, I have to get it. So this is called Practical Magic. And are you kidding me? Like the scummy green and the bright purple and the black and the orange, like this is the next sock I will cast on. I am so pumped about this. So this is her trusty sock. It's 462 yards and 100 grams. It's 75/25 superwash merino nylon. So this is a lot of yarn. I might make these extra tall, because can you imagine like Halloween socks that go up higher with these awesome stripes? Ugh, so excited about that. So, and maybe I've been planning my like trip knitting, and I have to keep it small because I'm packing a lot. But this is on my list. And if I can snag any yarn in the Explore Knits and Explore Fibers and Knits, I don't know, I will learn this at one point. If I can snag any of their Spain collection, I would really like a hat in Spice Peach. I think that'd be so pretty. I actually did think about doing a muscle burra, but I think I'm going to do it a different way. I think I'm going to do a provisional cast on and start at the center and then work my way up to the top and then come back and do it again. So I think, yeah, so those might be muscle burra modified, and this sock might be my travel knitting. There's always a fear that you don't have enough. And actually, a few years ago, I was getting ready to go somewhere. I don't remember where I was going. And I had like 3 projects planned for the trip. And I was stressing out about like running out of projects. And so I was in a Facebook group for knitters. And I messaged and there was like, I'm going on a 2-week trip. Here are the knitting projects I have planned. Do you think I have enough? And universally every answer was like, bring one more sock, bring one more. It's like one person was like, the limit does not exist. Fair. Okay, cool. These are my people. So that is one. The other purchases, because it's the same product but 2 purchases. Will I ever learn my lesson and stop buying Spin Cycle online? When will I learn my lesson to do virtual shopping. I don't know. So there is a colorway from Ritual Dyes. It's their LYS colorway that I've been wanting for 2 years now, 3 years, 2 years. And it is their, shoot, no, I can't even remember the name of it. Written in the Stars colorway. They had another one that's like a daily ritual, and I did buy some of that in the Dream State, but it is not really my colors. I think I bought it because I was like, oh, it's their LYS colorway. And so I bought it, and then I got home and I was like, but this isn't the one I wanted. So I haven't used it yet, but I will. It's still pretty. It's just, I was thinking I was getting this other one. So she posted a picture of like the restock of this colorway, and it was like, some of the skeins had like really like gold ochre with like lavender, and there was some like teals in there. It was so pretty. And so I bought 2 skeins. Didn't even think about it. Bought 2 skeins. And they arrived, and I don't know which one was which, but I think it was these 2. So this is what arrived. Let's see if there we go. So they're beautiful, but they are not what I thought I was getting. There's just a lot of more like muted pinks in here than I thought I was getting. And like, you can still see like the ice blues and the lavenders, and like, there's still beautiful colors in this, and I will still use this. But like, compared to the photo, it was just like, oh, this is a lot more muted than I thought I was getting. And so I was just kind of bummed, honestly. Like, again, it's spin cycle. Like, one photo is not representative of the whole. I know that. But then I was watching the Grocery Girls, and Jody bought some. I think she got the Dream State. And the skeins she was holding up, I was like, that's what I want. That is what I wanted. But no, I think she actually got Dyed in the Wool. So I was like, okay, they have these colors. Maybe I just need to put in a new order and like write in there, like, please include skeins with these colors in them. So I did that. I bought 3 skeins. Because, you know, just double down. And these are definitely, like, they definitely read my note. But they're still not what I was seeing in the picture. So these are the 3 I got. And there's definitely some icy blues, there's some purples, there's some like golds. So they 100% listened to or read my comment. This is absolutely no fault on the store. Again, it's just one photo of Spin Cycle is not representative of the whole lot, because they're all unique. And so this is one that would have been probably better if I bought in person or bought like over Zoom or something. But it's still, I now have 5 skeins of it. And they're still absolutely beautiful. Like, this is gonna make something so pretty. And I have 5 skeins of it, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I kind of got these and I was just like, well, this was maybe you should have had a plan. This is a lot of money of yarn. So there's no plan yet. There's none. There will be. I will absolutely use that at some point. But it might be a minute. Because you gotta have the right project for it. I also thought, where'd it go? Oh, okay. So this is my linen quill, and this is the turmeric yellow. And I did think those would actually go really well together, because you got a little bit of that like turmeric color in it. So that's an option. Let's see if I can get that back in there. Ugh, okay. Okay, so I have one more purchase. It's not yarn. It's a project bag. So probably my favorite person to buy project bags from is the Fat Squirrel. I love her bags. They're huge. I think she makes smaller bags. I always buy the sweater bag because literally they're huge and you can hold so much in them. She picks the most wonderful prints. And they're like solid. Sorry guys. So she also came out with a Halloween collection. I think I actually had just bought one. So this was not a need. This was a want, but I bought it anyway. So you guys, I think it's called Poisonous was this one, but because it's the sweater size, it was Poisonous Sweater. I was like, well, that's an interesting thought. So like, look how pretty that is. Oh my goodness. And on the other side, like, I just love it. It's moody, but it's still fun. And then, so the inside is just, there's no pockets or anything. It's just canvas on the inside. It comes with this detachable wrist thing. I've never used these, but I always put them on. And it's got a zipper top, which I actually prefer. But this thing can, like, it can hold a crap ton of yarn. And she includes a lavender sachet in them, which you can request if you're sensitive. You can ask her not to do that, but I love lavender. So like, look at the size of this thing. Like, I have blanket projects in these. They're huge. So I've just kind of been sticking the baby hats in them, or in this, which is like underutilizing this thing to the extreme because it is so large. It, like, literally these baby hats, I'll just show you, even with the yarn in here, like, barely takes up any space. But oh well, that's what I've been. I should probably actually put the Alpine glue in there because it's actually bigger. Okay, I have 2 projects I would like to cast on. One of them maybe today. One of them, it's gonna take a minute. So I'll talk about the one that's gonna take a minute. So I was watching the Grocery Girls, as I do, and Jody was working on a follow-up pattern to one of the sock patterns she's released before. I think it was a DK weight, and so this is a fingering weight. It's a striped sock, and it was amazing. Sorry, apparently I'm very thirsty. So she used Gauge Dye Works all together now, which is, I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. This is my favorite self-striping sock yarn. Like, let me show you what this does because it's just amazing. Oof, ow. Ooh, my legs are stiff. Oof, that was not fun. So these are socks that I made for a friend that haven't been shipped to her yet. And they're covered in my hair. So this is what this yarn does. So it's striped, but like, not like, I don't even know how to describe it. They're like variegated stripes. And I love it. So what Jody was doing is she was doing a stripe of this and then a different, like a solid intervening. And she was using actually very similar to like this color in between, but I don't have any of that in fingering. And so what I'm going to do is I did have some Wandering Flock Navy. I don't know if that's actually the name of it. Yeah, Navy. That's actually the name. Cool. So I'm going to actually alternate these 2. Now her pattern's not out yet. So, but there's also a small part of me that's like, I can just do this as a vanilla sock. For me, this doesn't have to be like a pattern because I think she was also like varying the width of the stripes, and I would probably keep them all the same. But I might do like a vanilla sock and stripe these 2. I think that'd be fun. The question is, do you start the heel or the cuff in the striping yarn or the solid yarn? I think it could be fun. I think I'd probably stripe or start the sock in this and then go to this. This might be one of my travel knits, but this is also 2 balls of yarn, and that's just, I don't know. But I'm probably not going to dip into this one yet because I still have leftovers from those other socks. And since this is like essentially a scrappy sock. You don't have to start with a fresh skein. So maybe lots of socks in my travel future. Okay. Oh. I realized when I stood up how sore I am. Like, my legs are mad. Probably because I made them run 13 miles today. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of sitting in my future. All right, so the last thing that I think I might cast on today, and if it weren't for the fact that it's a DK weight, it would be amazing travel knitting, but this is going to be a bulkier project, so it's probably going to stay home. So Amy Palko released her first pattern recently called the Gallus scarf. Is it Gallus or Gallus? I don't know. Which I think it means like joyful, which I love. And it is so fun. I love that this sweater, you can make it this scarf. So it's basically like parallelograms, the whole thing. So it's a big rectangular scarf, which is not something, I don't think I've actually made a scarf since I first learned to knit. And it was horrible. Because, you know, knowing how to knit is important. But I really like the idea of doing a rectangular scarf, and this one is so fun. And what I love about it is you can totally stash dive for it, because you essentially need 5 skeins of DK weight yarn. And I have plenty of DK weight yarn. So, okay, I'm thinking of doing, and I haven't 100% decided on this, thinking of doing kind of a striped, where I have a neutral and a jewel toned stripe. So I don't even remember where I bought this from. Actually, I might even say it on here. Yeah, it doesn't. No idea where I bought this, no idea when I bought this, but I got some Harrisville Daylights. And this is the Chirp colorway. So it's, I think they have like nightshades. Yeah, nightshades and then daylights. And I cannot tell, unless I'm looking at a lineup, which one the undertone is. I think it's blue. Yeah, I think it's blue. Like, if I see them in a lineup, you can definitely tell what the undertone is, but like on their own, it's really hard for me to see it. So I have, ooh, it smells like cedar. Must have been like really close to the cedar things I have shoved in there. So I've got 2 skeins. It's 250 yards of DK weight. So I'm thinking of making this kind of like my main color. So probably starting with it and then moving to the other colors. So my other color, the first one I'm going to use is some sweet fiber. Actually, I think this one is a DK, but I'm not sure. So I have a sweater in this. This is their Evergray colorway. And it is so pretty. It's a tonal navy. So this is, I think these will go really well together. So this will be my first contrast color. I'm going to drop things. My second contrast color, and I don't know what, these may be in different orders. This is also sweet fiber, and this is Dusted Rose. So we've got those two together. And then my last one I've had for ages. And this is, it's actually one of my favorite colorways from this brand. So this is Madeline Tosh, and it's their work sock, which is a DK. It's also a massive skein. So this thing I think has like 400 meters in it. They're calling it sport weight, but I argue that it's DK. Yeah, it's 400 yards. How many grams is this sucker? How did I even say that? Yeah, it doesn't have a weight on it. What? So these are, I just remember these being like mega skeins. And I think when they sold to Jimmy Bean's Wool, this is one of the ones that went away. So I think they still have this base, but it is either in a smaller hank or it's more expensive. Because I think this one used to be like 16 bucks. And every time I would buy one, I'm like, they are like massively selling themselves short. This is so much yarn and it's so inexpensive, but it's like lovely. So this is, yes, like I said, it's Tannenbaum, which is Christmas tree. So I just think these will be really pretty jewel toned to like contrast with the kind of creamy gray. So that might be a today project. I just think that would be really fun. But I also need to work on my mom's sweater. My dad's sweater, it would be way too warm for him to wear even in October, because we're probably still going to be 60s, 70s at the end of October. And his sweater is like solid. So it's going to be a go out and shovel snow, which we don't do often because we get ice. We get a little bit of snow, but we get a lot more ice. So, anyway, so yeah, his sweater is going to be like truly a winter sweater, whereas my mom's is a t-shirt, and so she could probably wear it in the fall. But yeah, so that is it for me. This is actually longer than I thought it would be. I debated not posting anything or like not doing a podcast today because I was like, oh, I spent all my time working on a secret project. I don't have nothing to talk about. But then let's see. So 2 weeks from now is the 30th. So I will post on the 30th, and then I'm going to be gone for a while. For a lot of October, I will be gone. So there will not be a podcast while I'm on vacation, because I love y'all, but not that much. But I'm going to try to get some footage while I'm in Italy and post it on a podcast. And I will definitely be like posting to Instagram while I'm there. So I'm so looking forward to this trip. It's going to be so fun. So my friend and I are going to fly into Milan and then take the train down to Florence. So we have to fly in and out of Milan for work, because it's a conference that we're going for. So we'll go down to Florence and spend a few days there, come back, do the conference in Milan, and then I'm going to Rome for a few days, and then I'm going up to Lake Como, where I'm staying in a very nice hotel. I'm so pumped about it. I would say my Achilles heel is a nice hotel, and I don't mean like expensive hotel. Like I don't need it to be like prestigious or anything, but like just like unique. And I don't know. So this hotel, like on their description, they have chickens that you can be friends with. I was like, I'm definitely gonna meet some chickens. They have gardens on their property that they grow some of the food they cook with. They have like a tennis court and a swimming pool. It's like right on the lake. And so they have their own dock and everything. And they've named their boats. They have Guillaumello and Didi are their boats. So that speaks to me. And there's just so many other things. Like it looks so fun. And it is definitely like top of my budget. But I'm making it work. I am on track with my loan payments. I'm going to be done. My last payment, as of right now, my last payment will be the end of December. So very exciting. Super pumped about that. It feels nice every time I make that payment and I see that number go down, and it's just like, so close. So there will be a lot of travel next year, because that's what I've been promising myself every time I make a payment, is that all this money you're putting against your loans next year, that's travel money. So there will be some really fun trips next year. But this one I'm going to just soak it up because it's going to be so fun. I did find out there is a national train strike on the day I have to leave to go to the airport. So that was fun. I found that out. I think I've said before, like I don't know if I think I said I do like my best shopping right before bed and first thing in the morning. Like basically from bed. I also like do some of my best travel planning I'll be like falling asleep and I'm like, oh, I should book my train. So I like get on. I use an app called Trainline that I really like. And so I'll get on. I got on Trainline super late one night and I was like, I need to book my train from this nice hotel to the airport. And they had a little notification at the top, all in Italian. So I had to like pop it into Google Translate and it was like national train strike for the entire, like my last day and the day after. So I frantically was emailing the hotel and I was like, I need to book a car. So that car ain't cheap. That's fun. But they, I don't know if I said, they sent me like their prices for booking a car. And honestly, the cost for the car is close-ish to the train ticket. So it's not like a significant increase. But I was reading the fine print at the bottom and it was like meet and greet service. And it's like, we'll pick you up right after you land, guide you through customs, we'll take your luggage for you. Like, it just seemed like, oh, this is nice. This is gonna be like fancy. And then I looked up a little bit higher and realized that that's an add-on service that adds like a lot of like quadruples the cost of, actually no, it like takes the cost of the transfer and adds 6 times to it. And I was like, oh no, we don't want the meet and greet. I'll figure it out. I know I can get through customs, no problem. Like, I have done this before. So, and I can pick up my suitcase from the luggage claim or baggage claim. I got that. I do not need to pay that much money for somebody else to do it for me. So, so yeah, I will be getting I'm getting a car from the train station to the hotel and from the hotel to the airport. So I just figured I don't want to have to stress about making a connection, getting lost. I get lost fairly easily, so getting lost with luggage at a train station is not real fun. I've done it before. It involved a lot of stairs. It was not my favorite. So we'll have people escort me who hopefully they know the way and they won't get lost. But so yeah, so I'll podcast before I leave and then I'll podcast when I get home. I'm not planning on going to any yarn shops. I did search, and I just don't I don't think those areas are really, if somebody knows of one, that's great. That's like in the city center. Did I say that right? City center? Yeah. Please tell me, but I don't plan on like taking an excursion to go buy yarn. Next year's trip. So next year, this conference is being held in Copenhagen. So I will be going to Knitting for Olive and I am pumped about it. Amongst others, next year will be like a work trip with a destination yarn trip and I'm excited about it. But this year, just a travel trip. And I'm happy about it. I'm gonna eat pizza and pasta. I'm going to see beautiful sights. I do have to run while I'm there, but I don't have to do any crazy long runs, which is great. When I come back home, I do. But yeah, I'm so excited for it. I absolutely love travel. I love Italy. Excuse me. I think the food in Italy is like, it's the best. It is the best of any city I've ever been to. So, city. Italy is not a city. Italy's a country. I have not ever had a bad meal in Italy. Let's just say it that way. Ever. There are other countries I have had bad meals in. Mostly my fault because I didn't understand the menu. But I don't think you can order anything bad in Italy. I'm rambling about food now, which has nothing to do with knitting. So I'm going to let y'all go. I will see you back in a couple weeks. Probably. Yeah, probably a couple weeks. I'm going to try to, definitely before I leave. But I hope you guys have lots of fun time from knitting this next couple weeks. Hope you're getting some fall weather where you are, or starting to get into spring if you're on the other hemisphere. and I will see you guys back. Bye.